inside the Leverkusen half. Rice heads one on towards the edge of the penalty area. Trossard gets a further header on, but then there's a nice bit of tidying up there by Jarrell Kwanzaa to head it back to his goalkeeper just on the edge of his 6-yard area. Very, very smoky environment here at the Emirates this evening. Low ball out by the goalkeeper to the left-hand side of his penalty area. This tap Sober goes long, left-footed. And held up quite nicely on the halfway line by Kafane, who gave Saliba and Gabriel a lot to think about in that first leg, to be fair. Only 19 years of age. Plays it back inside his own half to Tapsoba again, and Tapsoba goes for the diagonal out towards the far side. It's a lovely ball as well out to Poku. Brings it over the halfway line, down that right-hand side, looking to take on Hincapié. Early doors, just holds it up there, midway inside the Arsenal half, then goes back to Jarrell Kwanzaa, just outside the centre circle. It's inside the Leverkusen half now with the captain Andrich. First time ball forward's not a bad one towards Palacios. This is interesting for Leverkusen. It goes out to Poku, right inside of the penalty area. Can he get the ball into the box? Just overruns it slightly, keeps possession, but has to poke it back out to Kwanzaa. Then it goes back out towards the far side again. Cross does come in right-footed, and there's the header. Now, I think it's come off the Leverkusen player, as it, and it's gone behind for a corner. It must have been Saliba. It was swung in there from Palacios, I think it is, and it is Saliba who just gets there ahead of Kafane, and it's the first corner of the evening, and it falls for Leverkusen. Let's not forget the Leverkusen scored their goal from a corner, of course. They caught Arsenal cold in that first leg with a corner right at the start of the second period after David Rev had already made a good save to give the corner to the Germans, who've got a corner and over the far side, left-footed in swinger from Grimaldo. In it comes, not a bad delivery. It's Rice who heads it clear out towards far side. Grimaldo retrieves again, doesn't control it particularly well. They just managed to keep it in play over on the far side, and Grimaldo's got an opportunity again to get the ball into the box. He can't do so because he's closed down by Hincapié. It breaks kindly though for the team in blue, who go back towards the halfway line, and it's just to the right of the centre circle now, played out towards this near side. Here's Tapsoba. Tapsoba goes square to Andrich again, right inside of the centre circle for Leverkusen. Good start this from the Germans, actually. Not looking overawed at all, and why should they be after their performance in the first leg? Tapsoba again just inside his own half. Goes square this time to Garcia. Now Andrich again. Over on the far side is Kwanzaa. Down the line it goes and over the halfway line. Not a great ball, and Arsenal win possession back. Here's Gabriel. Midway inside the Arsenal half. Brings it more centrally and then finds Ben White back in the side. Good to see Ben White, real fan favourite of course, but he's really struggled. He's struggled with injury this season, but he struggled even when he hasn't been injured to get in the starting 11. So good to see him being trusted by Mikel Arteta tonight. He'll be looking for a good performance. Of course, got to think about the World Cup coming forward as well in the summer as far as his England chances go. Zubamendi midway inside the Leverkusen half, square to Saliba. Saliba low ball right footed out towards Bukayo Saka. First opportunity for the Arsenal captain down this near side, just knocks it inside again to Saliba. Saliba goes all the way back towards the centre circle where he finds Gabriel, and Arsenal will try on the left-hand side this time with Leandro Trossard back in the side this evening following an injury. He's been out for 3 or 4 games, and again they'll need as many players as they can back fresh and fit and ready to go for this run-in, this huge run-in that they've got in all these games they've potentially got to play if they can continue this quest for this unprecedented quadruple. Gabriel again inside the centre circle, scoops one forward. Laid off by Eza, doesn't quite find its intended recipient, which I think was Ben White. Cleared out towards the near side, but it's out of play. So it'll be an Arsenal throw-in. Midway inside the Leverkusen half, down the Arsenal right, put out in the end by Ibrahim Mazza, the Argentinian. Nearly 5 minutes played here at the Emirates. Arsenal 0, Leverkusen 0. Zubamendi right inside of the centre circle. Out towards the inside right position, here's Eberici Eze, and it goes to Saka. Saka low ball towards the edge of the penalty. Gyökeres, can he get it out from under his feet? He can. He knocks it back inside towards Ben White, who was there. Can't find it. It falls kindly for Gyökeres again. Back inside towards Saka. So congested on the edge of that Leverkusen penalty area. And in the end, the Germans managed to get it clear and out towards this near side, and they can bring it clear now. There's the long ball down the left-hand side. It's got too much on it, though, from the number 30 Mazza towards Kafane. He's not going to find him, and Arsenal have it again. Left-hand side of the centre circle, Declan Rice. Square to his right, and Zubamendi. Martin Zubamendi goes back to Hincapié again. He came on as a substitute in that game at the weekend against Everton in that dramatic victory. Here's Saliba now, just shy of the halfway line. Back it goes to his centre-back partner, Gabriel. Hincapié to his left, but he goes over the halfway line to Rice. Not a particularly good first touch by Rice, but it manages just about to find Hincapié, then loops it long down that far touchline, the left-hand side. Put out by Kwanzaa. Throw into Arsenal on the halfway line, down their left-hand side, over on the far side in front of the East Stand here at the Emirates. Fairly lacklustre start by either side, really. They did have that corner, didn't they, Leverkusen? But other than that, the ball just being played around by Arsenal in the centre of the field. Rice now on the edge of his own penalty area. Twists, turns, back onto his right foot. He's got Saliba to his right, Gabriel to his left, still holds it up outside the D. Closed down initially by Kafani. He's just dropped off a little bit now, the Cameroon. Onto Saliba, back to Rice again. Rice in a centre-back position at the moment. And he finds one of the Arsenal centre-backs, Gabriel, just to the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Goes back to David Rare, edge of his 6-yard area. Arsenal will start again. Here's Ben White down this near side. First time ball in field to Saka. Got a good understanding, those two. A lot of people have questioned Bukayo Saka's form of late. You do wonder if that's got a lot to do with the fact that Martin Odegaard's not been in the side for some time. Of course, still out injured, the Arsenal captain. And they've got a huge understanding, those two. And you do wonder the lack of Odegaard, whether it's affecting Saka at all. But he's got Ben White down the right side with him this evening. Saliba goes long, but too long. Advances a couple of times and goes all the way through to the Leverkusen goalkeeper. 7 minutes played here at the Emirates is goalless. And there's been an early goal at Stamford Bridge, and Paris Saint-Germain already 1 up. Remember, they're already 5-2 up from the first leg, the reigning champions, and all is looking good for them at the moment, because they've gone into a 1-0 lead early doors at Stamford Bridge, and the goal has been scored by Kvaratskhelia, who turned things around, didn't he, in that first leg when he came on as a substitute. He's obviously played from the start this time. Here come Arsenal now with Saka down the right-hand side, down towards the byline he goes, wins a corner, Arsenal's first of the evening, as it's put out by Grimaldo, and for some reasons claiming it's not a corner, but it quite clearly came off the Spaniard, and Arsenal even up the corner stats here at the Emirates, 1 apiece to be taken from the right-hand side. The clock end here at the Emirates will be taken by Bukayo Saka, just placing the ball down now in the quadrant with the bright pink boots on this evening. And the usual suspects are up at the far post. White, of course, back involved. Gabriel is there. He's always one of the main targets there, being watched closely by Poku at the moment. And Saka deliver on the money here. Up his steps now, left-footed, and it's headed clear at the near post. And in fact, it's come off of Gabriel. I think indeed it hasn't. It's behind for a goal kick. It was one towards the near post from Saka. Gabriel comes and gets a clear header on it. It doesn't actually come off his head, it actually comes off of his shoulder. And I'll tell you what, it was a better opportunity than I initially thought, and he looked a little bit disappointed with himself, the Brazilian, as he walked away. Goal kick to Leverkusen, clear header at the near post. And when you think of a clear header at the near post for Gabriel from the corner, that potentially shouts goal for Arsenal. Not on this occasion. Goal kick then, Blažević goes long, right-footed. Sails over the halfway line, but Zubamendi heads it back into the Leverkusen half. A little bit of head tennis. Eventually the ball comes down and Saliba just volleys it out towards this near side, but that's going absolutely nowhere apart from out of play. So throw in for Bayer Leverkusen, midway inside their own half, down their left-hand side. And Grimaldo will take it for Kasper Hellmann's men. They're currently 6th in the Bundesliga. Leverkusen, of course, champions 2 seasons ago under Xavi Alonso when they did the double, and they nearly went the entire season, but they did go the entire domestic season unbeaten. Now here's the chance for Leverkusen down this near side. Mazza's making a break. Now Arsenal getting back in numbers eventually. Cuts inside onto his right boot. Space opens up, shot comes in, that one's blocked. It was a shot from Grimaldo, I think it was, and Arsenal can clear down the centre. Retrieve though, left-hand side of the centre circle through Tapsoba. Tapsoba plays it inside the centre circle to Andrich, closed down by Gyökeres, goes out to Jarrell Kwanzaa over on that far side. He's closed down by Trossard, and they're going backwards at the moment here, Leverkusen, just to retain possession. Tapsoba though, nice ball towards the halfway line to Palacios. And he goes back out towards the far side. Over the halfway line comes Kwanzaa, just holds it up. Infield he goes, first time ball down towards the far side, isn't a good one. And Arsenal have possession again with Declan Rice over on the far side. Nice ball in field as well towards Zubamendi. Zubamendi onto it quickly, over the halfway line he comes. Releases it to Gyökeres over on the far side. Needs some support, the Swede. Gyökeres still advancing, edge of the penalty area. And he wins the corner again. Arsenal second in quick succession as Jarrell Kwanzaa gets back. Good work by him actually, as Gyökeres tried to square the ball across the 18-yard line. and Arsenal will have their second corner in quick succession. Good burst of pace that by Zubimendi, actually, as he picked the ball up from Declan Rice, driving towards the edge of that penalty area for Arsenal. So we've seen the left-footed in swinger from the right-hand side through Bukayo Saka, which was headed well wide at the near post by Gabriel. So on this occasion we're going to get to see Declan Rice in front of the Bayer Leverkusen fans over on the far side in that corner of the clock end, right-footed in swinging. 11 minutes played here at the Emirates, still goalless. Arsenal set piece, and it comes from Rice. It's a decent delivery, headed clear on the edge of the penalty area. Falls for Trossard, pokes it back out to Rice over on that far side. Infield to Eze. Eze steadies himself, clips one in towards the far post, and that's just got a little bit too much on it for Gabriel, who puts his thumbs up. It was the right idea by Eze, just got slightly too much height on that ball as it was played towards the far post. Gabriel had remained up inside the penalty area following that corner. Just looking at the replay, would he have been onside? Yes, he would have as well. Just couldn't stretch enough to get his head on it, and it's behind for a goal kick to Leverkusen. It's still 4-0, by the way, to Sporting Lisbon. There's 7 minutes left to play in that one, and as it stands, whoever wins this one is playing Sporting Lisbon. First leg will be in the Portuguese capital, and the second one either in Germany or in London. We shall see. Here come Leverkusen, just held up over on the far side by Poku, midway inside the Arsenal penalty area. Ball towards the edge of the penalty area. It's quite a nice one as well. Terrier, then the Frenchman, goes back out towards that far touchline. Arsenal were a little bit short over on the far side for a second, but Leverkusen almost seem to have missed their opportunity here. They still have possession, but they've gone all the way back towards the halfway line. And it's the captain, Andrich, goes back out towards Kwanzaa over on the far side. Down the line to Poku. Poku now level with the edge of the penalty area. Is he going to get the ball into the box? Cuts onto his left foot, cuts back onto his right. Goes down under a challenge from Hincapié. No free kick. And then it's cleared along from Arsenal down the line. Will it fall for Gyökeres? Can he hold this ball up? The Swede, it's gone out of play, but it's come off of Victor Gyökeres, battling with Jarrell Kwanzaa over on the far side. Throw in for Bayer Leverkusen over on the far side, just inside the Arsenal half. Here's Kwanzaa again, plays it back inside his own half, and it's once more Andrich right inside of the centre circle. Goes back towards Palacios. They're just retreating at the moment. Leverkusen to retain possession, but they've had plenty of possession, and then that's a little bit sloppy. Ben White onto Saka. Saka loops it up into the air. I'm not entirely sure he was looking for there. It wasn't a particularly good touch from the Arsenal captain, and it allows Leverkusen to win possession back again. They have it down this near side, immediately played back inside their own half by Ibrahim Amaza. Left-hand side of the centre circle now is Palacios. Now it's Tipsoba. Goes out towards this near side. Spots a little bit of space as well for Grimaldo. Grimaldo, I'm not entirely sure what that ball is all about. Straight through to David Raya. Raya wastes no time at all in bowling that one out to set Arsenal on their way with Leandro Trossard up towards the halfway line. Holds it up left-hand side of the centre circle, then brings it inside the centre circle as he makes his way from left to right. Rice to his left, Zubimendi to his right. It's the Spaniard who finds, goes out to Saka down this near touchline. Infield to Ben White, back to Saka again, ball with pace towards the edge of the penalty area, looking for Eze. It's just over the head of his England teammate, and Tapsoba can clear down this near side. They then go long with Grimaldo. There's the header from Zubimendi back down the line, but that's going to bounce out of play by the looks of things. Indeed it is, and Grimaldo takes the quick throw in, and he throws it straight to Eze. That was an odd one. Now Trossard, edge of the penalty area. Trossard gets the shot in, and it's well wide of the goalkeeper's left-hand post. Just opened up nicely there for the Belgian. Sloppy from Leverkusen, just a throw from Grimaldo. Looked to take the quick one and just threw it straight to Eze. He must have thought this was to come early. Goes square to Trossard, one touch, and then left-footed. Less said about that the better from the ex-Brighton man. Behind for a goal kick to Leverkusen. Lasvic plays it out low and then gets it back and goes long in the end under pressure. Plays it straight to Ben White. Can Arsenal take advantage again? That sloppiness. Saka inside the penalty area. Goes square. Here's Trossard. There's the shot. Pushed clear behind by the goalkeeper. First big chance of the evening. Leandro Trossard forcing the save from Yanis Blažević. They almost got in each other's way there, the Arsenal players. It was Saka square across the 18-yard line. Eze and Trossard were both there, and in the end, the Belgian took control, took one touch, and then on his more favoured right foot, you can see the difference after the shot he had with his left foot some moments ago, and the keeper does well to palm that behind for another Arsenal corner. He does come up with these big goals. Remember a big goal he scored here a couple of years ago against Bayern Munich in the quarter-finals, which Arsenal eventually lost that tie. Of course, they drew here 2-2, but he scored a late goal there, and he scored a goal against Porto as well. Here comes the corner from this near side. Saka again. Saka towards the near post, headed clear out towards this near side from Leverkusen, retrieved by Saka, infield to Eze. Eze now ball on his right foot, just makes his way out towards the right hand side of the penalty area, and then knocks it down towards Saka. Saka ball on his left foot, goes across the 18-yard line again to Trossard, square to Saliba on his right hand side, goes back out to Saka again. Saka ball on his left foot, curling towards that far post, good header clear by Tapsoba. Arsenal will retrieve it through Saliba. And Saliba goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, who, to be fair, is almost on the halfway line. So it's as if he's going back to the 18-yard line. And Arsenal will come again. Here's Declan Rice. Now Trossard. Trossard starting to get really involved in this game, it feels. Could be important tonight for Arsenal, you feel. Leandro Trossard back in the side. He's been trusted by Mikel Arteta tonight, ahead of Gabriel Martinelli and Noni Madueke down that left-hand side. It was Madueke who was preferred at the weekend. From the start, Martinelli came on. Leandro Trossard wasn't even in the squad against Everton. But looking fresh at the moment. He has possession again inside the centre circle as he goes back to Gabriel. We've played 17 minutes here at the Emirates. Arsenal 0, Bayer Leverkusen 0. And here's Eberechi Eze now picking the ball up on the halfway line down this near side. Cuts in field. Gene King back towards the halfway line. Just pushed back a little bit by Ibrahim Maza. Slows it down to walking pace. Rice ahead of him. Finds his England teammate, who goes immediately back to Saliba, right inside of the centre circle. Goes back out to Eze again. Early possession stats 55-45 in favour of Arsenal. That's a lovely turn by Zubimendi on the halfway line. Releases it out towards the inside left position. Declan Rice, he's got Nkappi on the outside if he needs him. Finds him level with the edge of the penalty area. Now Trossard, little flick from Trossard to Rice, that was nice. Back to Zubimendi. Zubimendi, caught in two minds, just plays the ball straight to the goalkeeper. One of those ones, you see it so often, where a player on the edge of the penalty area doesn't know whether to shoot or pass, and in the end they play a pass with far too much pace through, and it goes all the way through to the goalkeeper. PSG are enjoying themselves at Stamford Bridge, let's put it that way. They're now 2 goals up, and the reigning champions, who are going to be tough to beat again, aren't they? Bradley Barcola 2 inside the first 15 minutes for PSG, 7-2 on aggregate. That tie, well, I'm going to say it was effectively over after the first leg, let's be completely honest with you, but it's certainly over now. And it's been a wretched week for Chelsea after that defeat in the Premier League at the weekend, which really hurt their chances of qualifying for the Champions League again next season, of course, losing at home to Newcastle. Bukayo Saka with possession for Arsenal is starting to dominate possession now down this right-hand side. Ben White makes the overlap, but doesn't find him, then nicks it through to White, back to Saka. This is nice from Arsenal now. Eze back to Zubimendi. Will it fall for Saka? It's so congested in that penalty area, and in the end the referee's blown up. He's seen enough there. He's given well, in fact the flag is up. I can only assume there was an offside. It was intricate build-up by Arsenal. I think it was one too many passes in the end, and it's resulted in a free kick for Leverkusen. They'll be thankful, I think, for the breather at the moment, because Arsenal just stepped it up the last 10 minutes or so, dominating possession without really creating a great deal other than that shot from Trossard, which was well saved by Blažević. Continue to make a great deal of noise though over in that corner, the German contingent this evening. Long ball forward from the goalkeeper. It's going to call kindly for a blue shirt, but it's really good work by Gabriel to win the ball back, and then he's brought down. There's an instant apology from the... And it's long towards Gyökeres now then. That's really good defended by Tapsoba. Gyökeres using his strength right inside of the penalty area, and it's come off of a Leverkusen player. They just about managed to prevent the corner, and they put it out for a throw-in down this near side. So throw into Arsenal. Going route one there. Quick one taken. It's not a particularly good one from Ben White, looking for Saka. And they've cleared long Leverkusen down the centre. Here comes David Raya, stamps it forward now towards the far side. Beautifully brought down by Poku. Over the halfway line he comes, and he gives the ball away. It's a lovely first touch. Not so keen on the pass that he made. And Arsenal have it again in the left-back position. Declan Rice curls it forward to Eze. Oh, brings that down beautifully inside the centre circle. And a lovely ball out towards the far side. They're stretched here, Leverkusen. It's Nkappi towards the far side, and it's put behind at the far post for a corner by Grimaldo before Saka could get on the end of it. That was better from Arsenal. Real injection of pace. Lovely ball from Rice, but it's Eze the way he brings that ball down. It sticks to his toe inside the centre circle, then releases Nkappi over on the far side. Saka racing forward over on the far side, And it's really good defending, actually, by Alex Grimaldo to put the ball behind for another Arsenal corner. They're 4th already, 20 minutes played. And it'll be taken again from this near side. So Bukayo Saka with his 3rd opportunity to deliver. Gabriel up again. Saliba is there. Ben White is up as well. And Arsenal find a breakthrough here from a set piece. Still goalless. And it comes now right above the goalkeeper. And it's headed wide. And it's Gabriel again, who once more looks disappointed with himself. Just looking at a replay. Comes in. Gabriel. Yeah, he could do better there. 6 yards out. Gets the header in. Just can't keep it down. It's about a yard over the bar. It's close. Not close enough for an Arsenal point of view, and it's behind for a goal kick. And it's all over pretty much. They're still playing in Portugal, but Sporting Lisbon have got a 5th. So it will be Sporting Lisbon that one of these teams will play in the next round. Rice coming forward for Arsenal. Out towards that left-hand side. The cross comes in. It's going to be another Arsenal corner. They're racking up these corners, and Capier's corner cut out on this occasion. And, well, we wait to see how many English teams get through the Champions League. 6, of course, an unprecedented 6 in the last 16. Well, Chelsea are already 2-0 down and 7-2 on aggregate. And Manchester City are already a goal down at the Etihad, and they're down to 10 men. That one looks over as well. So, difficult night as well tomorrow night. Tottenham against Atletico Madrid. That one looks potentially over. Real tough one for Newcastle at Barcelona. Liverpool have got to turn it round. It could be if Arsenal can get through here. By the way, the free kick has been given rather than a corner. The cross that was cut out by Ngapié was cut out via a hand. So it's actually a free kick for Arsenal rather than a corner. It's probably better. It's very close to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Declan Rice, who's known for free kicks in the Champions League. Up he steps, drilled it in. Oh, brilliant save by the goalkeeper. He just went for power there, Rice. He absolutely drilled it towards goal, and the keeper makes a really good save. Going for that far post, and the keeper pushes it clear. And Arsenal getting closer here midway through the first half. It's actually gone out for a throw-in over on the far side, just on the other side of the corner flag. So it'll be a throw-in to Arsenal, and it will be Rice to take it. It's finished, by the way, in Sporting Lisbon are through. What a comeback. What a shame for Bodo Glimt, though. What a story they've been this season. But they've lost 5-0 tonight. Throw-in taken. Ben White back to Rice. White again. First time cross. It's a decent one. There's the header from Bukayo Saka straight into the arms of goalkeeper Yanis Blažević, who wastes no time at all in kicking that one long. Arsenal win it back immediately inside the centre circle. And the Sporting, I nearly said, no, I did say Sporting. The Leverkusen player has gone down under the challenge from Saliba. He's holding his stomach, so there's absolutely no reason we should stop play here. Just battling with, in fact, it's Ngapié he battles with. He comes off second best, goes down, and I'm all for the game stopping immediately if there's a head injury, but I don't honestly see why we need to stop it for a stomach injury. But he made it clear, well, it was his stomach. He went down holding his stomach. It's not as if he went down holding his face or anywhere around that area. He's back on his feet now, by the way. And Arsenal have possession again with William Saliba just inside the Arsenal half. Arsenal continuing to dominate possession. They can't get the breakthrough just yet, and they've lost possession. Bernardo Silva, by the way, was the Man City player was sent off the handball, which resulted in a penalty, by the way, which was converted by Vinicius Junior. So it's 4-0 now to Real Madrid. That tie is over. It's Chelsea 0 PSG. That's 7-2 on aggregate. That one's over as well. Sporting have come back from 3-0 down against Bodo Glimt from the first leg to win 5-3. Incredible goings on in the Portuguese capital, and this one remains finely poised. It's one apiece from the first leg. It's goalless tonight, and Arsenal certainly have had the better of it. But Leverkusen look solid, and they look disciplined. Ball forward now up towards Cafane. Holds it up really well on the halfway line and does well as well to release it to Grimaldo. There's the ball forward now. Arsenal a little bit stretched here. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Play back here. This is a good opportunity. Brilliant defended by Ngapié. Across he came. Behind for a corner. Really, really good move actually from the Germans. And just before Grimaldo was about to pull the trigger, just seeing whether he was onside or not as he ran on to the pass that came, yeah, he was absolutely, from Terrier. And then Capier, he came from absolutely nowhere. He wasn't even in the picture, and then suddenly it looked like he was just about to pull the trigger, takes one touch from about 12 yards out, and then Capier comes from absolutely nowhere to get the challenge in. And really nice move from the Germans, the best we've seen of them so far this evening, I would say, and it's resulted in their second corner of the evening to be taken from this near side. So it'll be a right-footed in-swing in the 27th minute. They scored from a corner in the first leg. It's got a lot of height on it, that one. Headed across the 6-yard area, and David Raya, well, in fact the ball's already gone behind by the looks of things, and it'll be a goal kick. Not sure about that one. There was a header at the far post. It was Antrich, by the way. Tries to head it across the 6-yard area. Oh yes, it had already gone out. Yeah, absolutely. I thought for a second that, because David Raya just went beyond his goal line and got a fingertip on it, but the ball had already gone beyond the goal line. I can clearly see it now from the head-on camera, and it's behind for a goal kick to Arsenal. Here's Raya. Low out to Gabriel, left-hand corner of the penalty area. And it goes to Trossard. Then Rice goes long. Really well brought down by Gyökeres, and he does really well as well. The loop went out to Saka, and it's a really poor touch, and that just sort of sums up Bukayo Saka at the moment. Just sort of sums up the England international. It's just not happening for him at the moment. Could it happen for him now, though, because he's fortuitously won the ball back now. Bukayo Saka inside the penalty. There's the shot, pushed behind for a corner on his less favoured right foot, trying to beat the goalkeeper at the near post. And Blažević puts it behind for another Arsenal corner. Just sloppy again from Leverkusen. We didn't see any of this in the first leg, but at times tonight they've been sloppy in possession. We just didn't see that in the first leg. They didn't give Arsenal anything at all. And 2 or 3 times they have this evening. But Saka, I think if that was on his left foot or on the left side, then I think we'd be looking at 1-0. But with the right foot, not so favourable. Corner though for Arsenal, and it will be the aforementioned Bukayo Saka to take it from this near side, left-footed in swinging. This will be the 5th already Arsenal have had, and Gabriel's already got on the end of a couple of them, just couldn't direct his header on target. In it comes again. Headed clear on the edge of the 6-yard area, but the referee spotted something in there, and it'll be a free kick for Bayer Leverkusen. Does seem to be a lot tighter in Europe to the Premier League. The kind of looking after the defensive players, protecting them from these corners, which you don't get necessarily in the Premier League as much. They let a lot more go, the sort of jostling and all the pushing that goes on these set pieces, but the referee saw something there, and Leverkusen again giving the ball away. Can Arsenal take advantage? Declan Rice, edge of the penalty area. Can he get it across to Saka? He's just forced a little bit wide. Right hand side of the 6-yard area. Plays it back. There's the shot. Brilliant save by the goalkeeper. Trossard with the shot, and the stretch leg of Blažević, who's making quite a name for himself this evening, and it still remains goalless, and Arsenal still can't quite get their nose in front. Really well worked by Gyökeres onto Rice. Rice to Saka. He's just forced a little bit wide. He's on the right hand side of the 6-yard area. Squares it to Trossard, right-footed shot, 8 yards out. Seems certain to be a goal, and he stretches out the leg, the goalkeeper, and he puts it behind for another corner. And, well, he's making an early statement here for man of the match here, Yanis Blažević. He really is. Corner then for Arsenal from the far side. Right-footed in-swinger incoming from England's Declan Rice. Again, that was another example of Leverkusen giving the ball away, though. In it comes now. It's got a lot of height on it towards the far post. Headed across the 6-yard area by Zubmendi. Cleared towards the edge of the penalty area. Played in by Eze into a crowd of players and blocked and cleared. But the ex-Palace man picks it up again over on the far side, and Arsenal will come again. We played nearly half an hour. It feels like a goal is coming, but they've got to get past Yanis Blažević first. Here's Trossard. He's tried as much as anybody. Goes up to Zubmendi down this near side. Back in field again to Trossard. Trossard in a central position. He's having a really good game, actually, Leandro Trossard. I think we can already see why Mikel Arteta chose him tonight, and ahead of Madueke and Gabriel Martinelli. Ben White onto Saka in the inside left position, gets fouled. Referee allows play to continue because Arsenal have possession. Saka stayed down. Is he going to get back on his feet? Zubmendi just holds it up to see if he does, and in the end he's back on his feet. Zubmendi still has the ball. 30 yards from goal, goes back to Saliba. Saliba ball with pace back out towards Ben White. He's getting forward on every opportunity, and that's a poor ball in fact by Ben White towards Saka. It's cut out, and Leverkusen have it in their left back position. They're going to have to go long. a couple of times they've done that and just gifted the ball back to Arsenal. They just can't get out at the moment. They've got it down this near side there with Mazza. It's crowded out by 3 Arsenal players. He's done really well to poke that one down the line. And they've at least retained possession, but Arsenal sniffing. Oh, they've done really well there, Arsenal, just forcing Leverkusen back. And in the end, Garcia puts it out for a corner. And these corners are just continuing to rack up. You do wonder whether Arsenal maybe could try something different rather than playing them in, because they've not had... Well, obviously, Gabriel's got hold of the end of a couple, but to no success thus far. Maybe they'll try a short one here. It's from this near side again, so it's Bukayo Saka. Gabriel again coming up and encouraging his teammates. Pretty much stood on the penalty spot at the moment, the Brazilian. They've stood firm so far by Leverkusen from these onslaught of Arsenal set pieces. The latest to be taken by Bukayo Saka. He does go short. Eza, Trossard with the shot, deflected. Is there anybody to put the ball in? It's a scrap inside that 6-yard area, and somehow the goalkeeper grabs it before Ben White can put it in. What a goalmouth scramble that was. Really well worked corner, by the way. They do go short, right-hand corner of the penalty area. Eza squares it for Trossard. Trossard gets the shot in. The goalkeeper saves it, but he spills it. There's about 3 or 4 Arsenal players there on the edge of the 6-yard area, and somehow they can't get on the end of it. Now suddenly Leverkusen are breaking. This could be interesting. Edge of the penalty area, just slightly overrun by Cavani. He's done really well there to smuggle it towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Not a good cross, though, from the left-hand side by Mazza. Cleared by Arsenal, but they'll come again. Kwanzaa out towards the right-hand side of the penalty area. Low ball into the box, and Capier, it hits, and Capier goes behind, and now it's a corner for Leverkusen. Well, I'm not honestly sure how an Arsenal player didn't put that ball in. Just looking at a replay of it, Gyökeres can't get there. He's kind of tangling with a defender. Capier then comes in, and Ben White does actually get a shot of sorts, and it kind of hits the goalkeeper. I think White could have done better, actually. 6 shots out. He was kind of stretching and falling to the ground at the time, but it seems certain that somebody was going to put that ball into the back of the net, and it didn't happen. So Arsenal have a corner to defend now. This is Leverkusen's third. We've already had 10 corners in this game now. 7 for Arsenal, 3 for Leverkusen. From the far side, left-footed in swinging, and it comes. There's the header in. It's a tame one as well. It was on target by Edmund to Sober. Raya releases it quickly to Rice. Rice out towards the far side towards Gyökeres, and Gyökeres falls over, slips, and that allows Palacios to win it back for Bayer Leverkusen. Back to Kwanzaa over on the far side, just inside the Arsenal half. And they go back towards the centre circle, and it's with Andrich. Now taps Sober. Just need to get a foothold in the game at the moment here, Leverkusen. Arsenal have had chance after chance. Haven't been able to take any of them thus far. A lot of that's been down to very, very good goalkeeping, though, I have to say. It's not necessarily been down to poor finishing on this occasion. David Raya just releasing that ball out towards Declan Rice. Long ball forward for Leverkusen, headed clear by Saliba out towards the far side. It's gone out of play, but it's hit Trossard, so it'll be a throw-in to Bayer Leverkusen on the halfway line down the right side. We've got 11 minutes to go to half-time, and we're still waiting for the breakthrough in this last 16 tie, the winners of which will play Sporting Lisbon in a 2-legged affair, the first one away in Portugal. The ball is loose over on the far side, a little bit of head tennis. And Capier with the latest one, then Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa in the end brings it down on the chest and just plays it straight to Eza. Really poor again from Leverkusen. Eza needs some options and doesn't really get it, and then just loses the ball. And then Leverkusen give it straight back to Arsenal again. Zubamendi loops one out towards the left-hand side. Here's Trossard racing down towards the corner flag, held up by Kwanzaa. Goes back to Rice, first time ball in field to Zubamendi. Zubamendi onto Hincapié. First touch is a little bit heavy, but he does retain possession as he goes back to Gabriel. Now Rice again over on the far side for Arsenal. Finds Zubamendi, and Zubamendi with the first time ball back to the left-hand side of the centre circle. Gabriel square to Saliba on his right-hand side. Gabriel onto Zubamendi. This is interesting. Works his way from right to left. Still Zubamendi. And then he goes out to Trossard, and Trossard actually loses his footing. I mentioned about Gyökeres slipping some moments ago. Trossard's just done exactly the same there as the ball was played to him. Just lost his footing, and the ball has gone out for a throw-in to Leverkusen, level the edge of their own penalty area down their right-hand side, and the ex-Liverpool man, Gerald Kwanzaa, came in for €35 million from Arne Slot's men. And he'll take this throw in right in front of the Leverkusen fans over in that corner. Ball is up in the air, a little bit of head tennis midway inside the Leverkusen half. And Cappy onto Rice, now Eze edge of the penalty area. Eze! What a goal from Eberechi Eze! That is unstoppable on the volley. 30 yards out, bang, right-footed beyond the goalkeeper. Well, I tell you what, it was going to take something pretty special to beat Janis Blažević, the Leverkusen goalkeeper tonight. And Eberechi Eze has delivered incredibly. What an effort that is. And in the 36th minute, it's Arsenal 1, Leverkusen 0. And Eberechi Eze with his 8th goal of the season. Goodness me, what a finish that was. The ball was just, there was a little bit of head tennis as the throw-in was taken. There was a little bit of head tennis between both sides. The latest one from Nkapia, then Rice to Trossard, back to goal. Eberechi Eze, as he's back to goal, he chests it down, he spins, turns, and then on the volley, right foot, 25 yards out, bang into the top corner to the goalkeeper's right-hand side. It's absolutely unstoppable. It's one of the goals of the season, I'd say. It's easily the best goal he's ever scored for Arsenal. I can't vouch for all the goals he's scored for Palace over the years, but my goodness, that is unstoppable from Eberechi Eze. And finally, Arsenal have got the breakthrough. And the Emirates is at ease, finally. 1-0 to Arsenal. And Eberechi Eze and Arsenal at the moment flying the flag for the Premier League. It could be, or it could have been, an awful night for the Premier League. Manchester City and Chelsea are facing exits from Europe's Premier competition tonight. Big defeats as well for those two. Tomorrow night we've got Newcastle against Barca. We've got Liverpool against Galatasaray trying to overturn that deficit, of course, as Rice tries to win the ball back for Arsenal. We're inside the Leverkusen half. A little bit of head tennis again. Now, what happened last time? That happened. Saka loops it through. Trossard inside the penalty area. Trossard cuts it onto his left foot, goes back to Rice in the end. He just maybe shouldn't have cut it back onto his right foot. Leverkusen now going long, but that's brilliant work by Ben White just to hold up the... in fact, is he given a free kick? No, it was a free kick to Arsenal, but the referee's allowed play to continue because Arsenal have possession. Rice steaming forward. On it goes. Left-hand corner of the penalty area. Here's Leandro Trossard, and he just runs into trouble there. Good work, though, in the end from Mazza, who will clear. Goes to Konza, and Konza puts it out of play. Thrown for Arsenal. They're sniffing a second here for half-time, Arsenal, and they're a bit rattled, Leverkusen. You can feel it. They've given the ball away so much tonight. I don't remember them giving the ball away once in the first leg. They were so disciplined, so tidy, so organised, so solid, and they've just not been the same team tonight. Played against Bayern Munich, of course, in between the two legs, and well, that was a ding-dong affair, that one. Finished one apiece, but Bayern Munich ended up down to 9 men with the sendings off of Nico Jackson, who's currently on loan from Chelsea, and... Luis Diaz, of course, the ex-Liverpool man, was sent off for diving, but he got a second yellow card. He was already on a yellow, and then went through on goal and went over like a sack of spuds looking for a penalty. The referee saw right through it, and VAR confirmed it as well, and it was given as a yellow card, and Bayern ended up down to 9. They nearly snatched it right at the end, Leverkusen. They got a goal in injury time, and it was ruled out for the finest of offsides. Having said that, Bayern Munich also had 2 goals disallowed for handball. It really was a dramatic game in the Bay Arena. Still Chelsea 0, PSG 2, and Man City 0, Real Madrid 1. Here's Declan Rice. He's having a good evening, Rice. He really is. He's just controlling everything in that midfield. Ben White now. Benny Blanco, as he's known as to the Arsenal fans, goes back inside his own half to Saliba. Now it's Zubimendi again, right-hand side of the centre circle for Arsenal. Saliba, and then he goes square to Gabriel. And Saliba again. I'd be interested to know what's going on at the Etihad as far as Manchester City go and their team, whether already Pep Guardiola started to think about the cup final. Now it's going to be a free kick for Arsenal in a really dangerous position. Now the first thing I have to say is the referee could have played on then because Arsenal still had possession on the edge of the penalty area. The ball was played up to Gyökeres. He held it up back to goal. He was fouled. Unquestionably, he was fouled. But he managed to, even when he was lying on the floor, he managed to smuggle the ball on towards Bukayo Saka. And the referee I think, just could have held it for a second. Having said that, this is a good position for Arsenal. It's going to suit the left footer. I don't think we're going to see Declan Rice again as per Real Madrid, because this is going to suit the left footer rather than the right footed Rice. So it probably suits Saka more than anyone else. Ez has walked away. It's 25 yards from goal. And to the right-hand side of the D. And we saw what it took to beat Yanis Blažević with that incredible goal from Eberechi Eze. At this stage, it's unclear whether Arsenal are just going to clip one in or go for goal. I think Trossard's just going to clip one in. Trossard steps out, will go short to Saka, right inside of the penalty area. Back in field it goes to Saliba. Saliba now with Eze. Eze again. Thought he was going to get the shot in again. Goes back to Rice. Rice gets the cross in. It's a good header, clear actually towards the edge of the penalty. It looked like it was going to fall on the head of Leandro Trossard. Arsenal have it again though with Nkapie. Gabriel Nkapie again. Nkapie edge of the penalty area. Can't quite get the ball out from under his boot. It allows the challenge to come in. And it's good work actually by Palacios. Clears out towards the far side, and Kwanzaa just about keeps the ball in play. Goes low down the line, but Arsenal win it straight back through Rice. He's having a great evening, Declan Rice. And then commentators curse. He gives the ball away. And it's a free kick for Arsenal because as Eze tried to win the ball back, he commits the foul on Terrier. So free kick to Leverkusen. 3 minutes to half-time, midway inside the Leverkusen half. Arsenal leading by a goal to nil. Goal of the season contender from Eberechi Eze. Absolute beauty. And Manchester City, who were down to 10 men, have actually equalised. Well, I did mention about whether or not Pep Guardiola would make some changes with his team now 4-0 down in that cup final at the weekend. Well, I'm not necessarily saying they're back in it, but they have scored. And it's Erling Haaland, of course, it's Erling Haaland who's got one. And they're looking for a miracle, of course, Manchester City. But they've got it back to 4-1 now, so it's on aggregate, that is. As the free kick is taken for Leverkusen, they've gone all the way back to their goalkeeper. They then go long. Beautiful defending by Saliba, cool as a cucumber, wins it back, then goes long. Doesn't quite find Rice though. Leverkusen have it, a little bit of space now midway inside the Arsenal half for Grimaldo. Eventually comes out towards the feet of Ibrahim Mazza, goes down the line, that's a nice ball. Attempted cross comes in, it's blocked by Zubamendi. It goes out of play down this near side. And it's good work down this left-hand side actually by the Germans. 2 minutes to half-time. They'll be looking obviously to qualify for the Champions League again next season. They finished second last season. They put up a pretty decent fight, to be fair, for their... obviously they were the reigning champions. Bayern Munich were just unstoppable, really. Arsenal a bit sloppy there, giving the ball away midway inside their own half. Leverkusen about to go back towards the halfway line, inside the centre circle with Garcia stretching, manages to find Kwanzaa, who goes out towards the far side, and Poku. Poku immediately plays it back inside his own half. On it goes to Palacios, back out to Poku, infield to Kwanzaa again, and then again they've given it away, but they've got lucky. The ball is bounced kindly for them, then long ball out towards this near side, a little bit of space as well down the left-hand side for Grimaldo. Trying to finish the half strongly here, the Germans. Here's Mazza, left-hand side of the penalty area. Can he get the ball into the box? Down towards the byline he goes. He does get a cross in, and there's a header clear from Nkapie towards the edge of the penalty area for Arsenal. Looped forward again by Kwanzaa. Nkapie again gets that in, falls for Kwanzaa, brings it down nicely on the chest, opens up a bit for him now. Is he going to get the shot in? Edge of the penalty area, and Saliba wins the ball back. Saliba's going to go long. Now, what's he spotted here? He spotted the run of Gyökeres, and Gyökeres is not going to get there because the ball is too far in front of him, and it's Andrich who brings it down on the chest and then goes back to the goalkeeper. In the last minute of the first half here, Arsenal 1, Leverkusen 0. Stats-wise, for this first half, Arsenal possession-wise 54 to 46. They've had 12 shots compared to their opponents' 2, 7 of which have been on target, and just the 1 for Leverkusen. And I think if I remember rightly, it was just a tame effort that was straight into the arms of David Raya. They have dominated Arsenal, but it took something special to break the deadlock. It really did, from Eberechi Eze. Here's Garcia for Leverkusen inside his own half, out towards this near side. A little bit of space again for Mazza. Brings it towards the halfway line. Out comes the fourth official. Just a minute to add on at the end of the first 45. They don't seem to be quite as generous in Europe with the added on time as they are in the Premier League, which is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Goes out towards the far side, and Poku immediately plays it back inside his own half. Here's Grimaldo again, and Garcia inside the centre circle for Leverkusen. Last opportunity of the first half. Poku looking to take on Nkapie, but immediately plays it back inside his own half. Again, it's safety first once more from Kasper Hjulmand's men. Got to be careful here on the halfway line. They've lost possession on numerous occasions, given Arsenal opportunities, which they haven't taken, to be fair, because the chance they did take wasn't from Leverkusen gifting them possession on that occasion. And last 10 seconds of the first half. Grimaldo, Garcia, on it goes out towards the far side. Poku making the run. Here is Poku. Can he get the ball into the box? Looks to take on Nkapie. Back it goes. The ball does come in. Oh, goodness me. I don't think that's going to come to much. It loops over the bar behind for a goal kick, and I think that'll be it for the first half. Arsenal 1, Leverkusen 0. There goes the half-time whistle, and it took something special from Ebery Chiesa in the 36th minute. What a goal it was, volleying in from the edge of the penalty area. Half-time here at the Emirates. Arsenal 1 by Leverkusen 0. 2-1 to Arsenal on aggregate. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the second half.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.
Hillman. We'll keep you up to date with what else is going on. It's currently 1 apiece at the Etihad. Real Madrid 4-1 up on aggregate. Manchester City down to 10 men. Bernardo Silva sent off. PSG 2 up at Stamford Bridge. 7-2 on aggregate there on their way to the quarterfinals. The reigning champions. The winner of this one will play in the quarterfinals against Sporting Lisbon with a famous comeback against Bodo Glimt. The minnows from the Arctic Circle who were 3-0 up from the first leg. Sporting got it back to 3-3 to force extra time and then got a couple of extra goals in the 30 minutes that were added on to win by 5-3. The first leg of that one will be in the Portuguese capital. The follow-up will either be here in London or it'll be in Leverkusen at the Bayer Arena, depending on what happens here in the next 45 minutes. Remember, if it's level after 90, we'll get 30 minutes extra time, and we'll get a penalty shootout. And here come Leverkusen at the other end, and that's overran on the edge of the penalty area. Clears out towards his near side. Trossard will do well to keep that in play. He can't. So it will be a throw into Leverkusen. Kwanzaa to take a quick one, which he does. They need a quick start, you feel, to this second half. They need something to build on here, Leverkusen. They started off quite well, actually. Trossard battling with it down this near side, and Trossard's done really well, actually, to play that ball off of Poku. So it's a throw-in for Arsenal in their left-back position. And down this near side, and it'll be taken by Hincapie. Finds Eze. He's having a good game, Eze, not just the goal. Spreads play out towards the far side. Can he find Ben White? No, he can't, because that's really well worked, actually, and watched by Grimaldo. But the referee's called it back, I think, for a foul, as he on Eze. Down this near side, just as he released the ball. 4 minutes played at the start of the second. Arsenal 1, Leverkusen 0, 2-1 on aggregate. Arsenal go long now. Here's Trossard, edge of the penalty area, brings it down beautifully, ball on his right foot. Trossard with the shot! Oh, curling towards the goalkeeper's right-hand side, and not too far wide either. Just couldn't get it to bring it. Couldn't bring it in enough, Trossard. He's been really up for it this evening, Leandro Trossard. He really has. Curls it towards that far post. The keeper's beaten. And so too, unfortunately, for Leandro Trossard and Arsenal, is that far post. But the goalkeeper just watched and hoped it went wide. He didn't even bother diving for it. He knew he couldn't get there. Goal kick for Leverkusen. Right-footed long from Blaswich down the centre. Towering header by Saliba back towards the far side. It'll fall, though, for Ronaldo. Gives the ball away, although he gets lucky, actually. He's managed to find a blue shirt, and they're breaking down the left-hand side. This could be interesting for Leverkusen. With Mazza, cross comes in. There's the header clear from Saliba out towards the far side, and Rice will prevent that one from going out, and he'll clear on the volley down that right-hand touchline for Arsenal. Perez tries to bring it down, runs onto his own little flick there, the Swede, but it's tidied up nicely by Tapsoba. Tapsoba square to his right-hand side, and the Leverkusen captain, Robert Andrich, who got that goal, of course, in the first leg to give Leverkusen the lead, a lead that they held into right at the end. And Kai Havertz came off the bench against his former side and converted that penalty, which was won by Nani Madueke, who's not in the side tonight, on the bench, the ex-Chelsea man. And it's Trossard who's been preferred to him, and to be fair, Mikel Arteta thus far has got it absolutely right, because Trossard has been one of the standout performers, I would say, for Arsenal this evening. Here's Tapsoba again, just outside the centre circle, inside the Leverkusen half. Goes square to Andrich, first time ball out towards this near side. Good one, actually. Finds Poku, holds it up, goes back to Kwanzaa, who plays it back inside his own half immediately. Good bit of possession this for Leverkusen, just getting a foothold in the game. They don't seem to know what to do with the ball once they've got it. Andrich again, in the end, just knocks it back to Tapsoba, who decides to go long, and he goes far too long, and it goes all the way through to David Raya again. Just lacking ideas at the moment, the Germans, as David Raya sets Arsenal on the way again with the ball forward to William Saliba, who's got Zubamendi ahead of him. Finds the Spaniard, knocks it back first time to the left-hand side of the D for Gabriel, and Gabriel finds Saliba, bringing it forward over on that far side for Arsenal. Again, he's got Zubamendi just ahead of him. Goes back to Gabriel, though, in the end. Gabriel Rice to his left-hand side, finds the ex-West Ham man, brings it over the halfway line with his first touch down this left-hand side. Infield to Zubamendi, left-hand side of the centre circle. Lovely ball forward to Eze, nice little nick on. It was a foul on Eze, but the referee's allowed play to continue because Arsenal have possession. Saka inside the penalty area. Bukayo Saka gets the ball onto his left foot. just holds it up edge of the penalty area, tries to get the shot in, and he wanted too much time in the end, Bukayo Saka. I mentioned earlier in the first half about his possible lack of confidence, really, more than anything else. I just wonder whether a fully fit Saka would have done something. Now Gyökeres wins the ball back for Arsenal, advancing towards the edge of the penalty area. Shot from Gyökeres, decent effort on target, but a comfortable save for Blažević going down towards his left-hand side. He didn't have any options, Victor Gyökeres, then, other than to go for goal from about 30 yards out. And there's nobody in a red shirt anywhere near him, really. But that opportunity for Saka some moments ago is really well worked as well. Nice little flick from Gyökeres as a nice little interchange between those two, and releasing it to Saka. And I thought Saka, just one touch onto his left foot, could have then gone for goal, but he cut onto his left foot, then sort of held it up and back onto his right, back onto his left. Just too many touches, really, from Bukayo Saka. And in the end, when he did get his shot slash pass in, it was blocked, and Leverkusen were able to clear. Leverkusen have possession. They're inside their own half with Andrich. Thinks about going long, but in the end just goes back to Tapsoba in the end, and the Burkina Faso man brings it over the halfway line to the left of the centre circle, knocks it out towards Grimaldo. Immediately goes back to Edmund Tapsoba. Square to Andrich again. And it goes towards Garcia. Palacios now for Leverkusen. Mazza now towards that left-hand touchline, midway inside the Arsenal half. Good little bit of possession this for the Germans. Finalists, of course, in the Champions League 2002. They've made one final, as of Arsenal, of course, 2006, where they lost to Barcelona. Here come Leverkusen, edge of the penalty. A shot comes in, that's blocked, and Arsenal can clear. Now it's Trossard over on the far side, racing over towards the far side, and he loses possession. And then does he win it back and win a throw? He does, and he gets the crowd going. The crowd were already going from Trossard. Really good work rate from him, battling over on the far side with Poku. Throw in for Arsenal, midway inside their own half, down their right-hand side. And just looking at a replay of a late challenge. I did mention there was a late challenge on Eza. The referee played a good advantage, actually, but I'm quite surprised looking at a replay that he didn't go back and book Tapsoba for that. But I've had confirmation, no yellow card, no further yellow card. Just the one this evening, Palacios, in the first period. No Arsenal player booked so far. As Leverkusen have it inside the centre circle. They're going to win a free kick, actually, there for a challenge, I think, on from Martin Zubamendi. And indeed they will. So free kick to Bayer Leverkusen. Long ball out towards the far side, down towards the byline. Really well-timed challenge from Bukayo Saka. Best thing Saka's done tonight, I'll be honest. And then he gives the ball away, plays it out of defence, straight to a blue shirt. It's just not going his way at the moment. Bukayo Saka did really well tracking back there to win the ball back in the right-back position, and then played it out of defence, straight to a blue shirt. And Leverkusen will have it again if they can just get a little spell together here. There's still something for them in this game. It's down this near side with Poku. Thought about getting the cross in, goes back to infield to Kwanzaa. Ball towards the edge of the penalty. That's a nice ball now, edge of the penalty area. And finds Grimaldo, can't get the shot away, and Arsenal clear long through Hincapié. They'll come again though, it's a good little spell this. Garcia in the inside right position, out towards this near side, and Poku again, looking to take on Pierre Hincapié. Doesn't take him on in the end, just goes back down the line, then the ball down towards the byline. Can Kwanzaa wrap his foot around this? He does get a ball into the box, but it's into the 6-yard area, in fact, straight to David Raya. Looks to release one quickly, finds Declan Rice. Rice is on his way for Arsenal as he makes his way from left to right over on the far side. Over the halfway line it goes. Loads of space for Bukayo Saka over on that far side. He's only got one ahead of him, which is Gyökeres. Finds Gyökeres, back to Saka. This is nice. Leandro Trossard now, left-hand side of the D. Still Trossard. There's the cross. Not a particularly good one. Clear towards this near side, and then just volleyed clear by Tapsoba out towards this near side. And Hincapié brings it down beautifully out of the sky, then loses it. Can the visitors take advantage of that little bit of sloppiness? Brilliant from Trossard to win the ball back now. Trossard advancing towards the edge of the penalty area, goes square to Eza, and Eza can't get the shot away. And it's cleared by, it was good work actually by Grimaldo to clear. That was really good work again from Trossard. He really is on the cusp of a man of the match performance here tonight. He really is. He could cap it off with a goal, to be quite honest with you. He was very, very close on a couple of occasions in the first half. Had a shot well saved by the goalkeeper, one by the goalkeeper's legs as well, when it looked certain that he was going to put Arsenal ahead, and he won the ball back brilliantly there, squared it to Eza, And it just didn't find the ex-Palace man, otherwise with a shot on goal inside the D. Here comes Leverkusen, and that's less said about that shot the better from Robert Antrich. All of about 30 yards out. They're going to make a change shortly by the looks of things as we head towards the hour mark. There's a player being stripped for Kasper Højlund on the touchline for Leverkusen. We played 57 minutes here at the Emirates. Arsenal 1, Leverkusen 0. They could do with a second goal, Arsenal. It feels like they're in control, but you never quite know. Is there movement down on the Arsenal bench? No, it is Leverkusen. It looks like they're going to make potentially a double change, I would say. Here's right for Arsenal, left-hand side of the centre circle. Tracked by Terrier, so he goes back to Gabriel, finds Trossard. Eza just ahead of him, just runs straight past Eza, says no thank you, I'm just going to keep going, and then releases it to Ben White over on the far side. Saka ahead of him. Holds it up over on the far side, Ben White, infield from Saka to Martin Zuber-Mendy. Back it goes to Trossard, who's just playing in a free role at the moment. He's just all over the place. Every time you look up, Leandro Trossard appears to be there. He's over on the far side now. Ball on his right foot, just retreating back towards the halfway line. Knocks it back to Zuber-Mendy. Zuber-Mendy retreating back inside his own half, goes back to David Raya, edge of the penalty area. One touch from Raya, out towards the right-hand side of his penalty area. Saliba down the line, Ben White. Ben White gives it away. Now can Leverkusen take advantage of that sloppiness from Ben White, edge of the penalty area. It's just held up by Terrier. Goes out towards this near side is Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa out towards the right side of the penalty area. This is Tapsoba. Poku now. And Poku, again, they're in a decent position there, Leverkusen. Thought about the cross. Dinked out towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Cross comes in. That's not a bad one. Gabriel gets the header clear. Falls for Kwanzaa, but the referee's already blown his whistle for a foul on Gabriel, who went down. And I think there's going to be a change or two now, just before the hour mark for Bayer Leverkusen. Interesting to see what Kasper Højlund's going to do here, when I can see that Malik Tillman is one of those that's going to be coming on, the number 10. And also it looks like Montrell Calbraith, who I think played at the weekend against Bayern Munich. Martin Terrier, the Frenchman, is going to come off, and Poku, by the looks of things, is the other player to make way. Just before the hour mark, 1-0 to Arsenal, 2-1 on aggregate. No further goals in the other games, by the way, this evening in the Champions League. So still Chelsea 0, PSG 2, 7-2 on aggregate. Man City 1, Real Madrid 1, 4-1 to Real on aggregate. Real Madrid will almost certainly play Bayern Munich in the, barring a miracle, a 6-1 up against Atalanta. So it's going to be, we could already start looking at these ties potentially in the quarters. Real versus Bayern, and then PSG. I think we can safely say PSG are going through. They will play the winner of the game tomorrow night between Liverpool and Galatasaray. The winner of this one we know plays Sporting Lisbon. And then we've got Barcelona versus Newcastle. The winner of that one, that's finally poised at 1 apiece, although Barcelona will be the favourites with the home leg to come. The winner of that one will play Atletico Madrid, almost certainly, who have got a 5-2 lead against Spurs. Cross coming from the left-hand side for Leverkusen. Arsenal get it clear through Gabriel. Long down the centre. Gyökeres will chase, but it's headed back by the Leverkusen captain to the goalkeeper, who goes long first time. Header clear out towards this near side by Capier in a sliding challenge. Good work by Kwanzaa to put the ball out of play before Trossard could get on the end of it. Throw in then for Arsenal on the halfway line down their left-hand side. A little bit concerned for Arsenal because Trossard just in that challenge with Kwanzaa just went down slightly awkwardly, and Capier takes the throw in for Arsenal. Goes back to Gabriel, left-hand side of the penalty area. He goes square to the Frenchman William Saliba. On it goes to Ben White over on the far side. Forward to Gyökeres, holds the ball up over on the far side. On it goes to White. That was a nice ball as well. On it goes to Saka. This is nice from Arsenal. Saka out to Gyökeres. This is a lovely move down towards the byline. Can he cut it back? Oh, and it just somehow didn't find Capier when it looked like he'd had a tap in. And it's good defensive work. I think it was Kwanzaa who stopped the tap in from Cappy, and suddenly they're breaking at the far end here now. They're a little bit short at the back here, Arsenal. And that's until Martin Zuber-Mendy with a brilliantly timed challenge wins the ball back for the Gunners, and it opens up again the game. Trossard over the halfway line, he comes forward to Victor Gyökeres. They're stretched. Gyökeres now, ball on his right foot, still Gyökeres, back onto his left foot, gets the shot in, takes the deflection and goes wide of the goalkeeper's left-hand post and behind for a corner. And just for those last 2 minutes, the game getting really, really stretched. Arsenal looked like they were going to get the second when Gyökeres broke down towards the byline, cut the ball back, and it looked like Nkapie would have a tap in. Just looking at the replay of that. And Nkapie comes. It's a brilliant bit of defending, it's got to be said. Bonza just gets there before him. And then suddenly they were breaking at the far end because Arsenal were a little bit short at the back following that attack. Brilliantly timed challenge by Martin Zuber-Mendy on the edge of the penalty area. Sets Arsenal on the way, and suddenly Gyökeres, twisting, turning, edge of the penalty area on his right, cuts it back onto his left, gets the shot in, takes the deflection and loops behind. Could have gone absolutely anywhere. So Arsenal's 8th corner of the evening over on the far side. Bukayo Saka. Arsenal are readying a change by the looks. I think Martinelli's going to come on. I think Mikel Arteta just a little bit worried about Trossard, who was walking a little bit gingerly some moments ago. In comes that corner, and Leverkusen once more have got it clear. They've got to be careful. They've given it away to Zuber-Mendy right inside of the penalty area. Back it goes to Saka. Doesn't quite find Saka, and the reason it doesn't find Saka is because that's really good work from the number 10 to get it clear. Malik Tillman's giving it away. Rice, edge of the penalty area, 2-0 Arsenal, and that's the goal, surely, that puts the Gunners through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League. And Leverkusen just giving the ball away one too many times. They did it on numerous occasions in the first half, and Arsenal couldn't take advantage. Well, I tell you what, the man who scored two of the most famous goals you've ever seen in this stadium scored in that goal again towards our left-hand side in the North Bank. Those two incredible free kicks he scored last year in this competition, and he scored again, edge of the penalty area, right-footed shot low to the left-hand side of Blažević, stood no chance at all. Two really, really good finishes for Arsenal, and that surely is game, set and match. Rice brings it down, one touch to take into the deep. He just curls it beautifully. It's such a good finish. And the goalkeeper doesn't even dive. He just hopes and prays it doesn't go inside that left-hand post. Well, it goes inside that left-hand post from Declan Rice. He's doubled Arsenal's lead. And the Champions League, the quadruple is still on. And surely the quadruple will still be on after tonight into Sunday's Cup final against Manchester City. It's Arsenal 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0, 3-1 on aggregate just after the hour mark. They just needed that second. It felt comfortable for Arsenal, to be fair, but they needed that second just to confirm things. And the man synonymous, really, with this competition after what he did last year to Real Madrid has done it again. He's been absolutely brilliant yet again, Declan Rice. You kind of take him for granted, to be fair. I talked about Trossard being my man of the match up until this point. He's been amazing, but Rice has been just as good. It's just, we just expect it, don't we, with Declan Rice. PSG are rubbing salt into wounds at Stamford Bridge. It's 3-0 now. What's that, 8-2 on aggregate to the champions? And Chelsea very much dead and buried, aren't they? And Mayulu has got the third, so indeed it is. It's 8-2 on aggregate, which doesn't sound great. So we know we're going to lose two of the English teams tonight. Arsenal look like they're on their way, barring a great comeback here in the last 25 minutes from Bayer Leverkusen, who are 2-0 down. Cross comes in from the left-hand side. There's the header. It's not a bad one towards the far post. Linked across and then headed clear by Nkapie out towards this near side. Leverkusen have cleared. They'll come again. They're going to give this a go, Leverkusen. Arsenal are still waiting to make a couple of changes on the touchline, by the way. Low ball out towards the far side by Tavsoba towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. I think they'll quite happily just sit back here. Arsenal will allow Leverkusen to have possession and try and pick them off on the break if they can, as they continue, as they're going to have to commit them forward. But it looks as if they're going out at the same stage as they did last year, of course. They lost here. Well, they didn't lose here because they didn't come to the Emirates, but they lost at this stage in the competition last year, and they were thoroughly beaten as well by their German counterparts. Bayern Munich, they lost 5-0 on aggregate in that one. And if I remember rightly from that one, I think the game was pretty much done and dusted after the first leg as well in that one. Here's Andrich, low ball out towards this near side, a little bit of space now for Cole Braithwaite, substitute. Thought about the cross, but goes back to Kwanzaa. And made that really good challenge to prevent Nkapie from putting Arsenal 2-0 up, and then Within 2 or 3 minutes, they were 2-0 up through Declan Rice. Cleared long by Gabriel, looped up to the air. Gyökeres underneath it, lets the ball bounce. A little bit of head tennis. And in the end, it's tidied up quite nicely, actually, for Leverkusen. And they have it to the right of the centre circle with Palacios. Still Arsenal waiting these changes, but the ball hasn't got out of play for a good 3 or 4 minutes. It's going to be Martinelli, I think, and Christian Norgard to come on for Arsenal. I would assume Martinelli would come on for Trossard, and Norgard will either come on for Rice or Zubamendi, I would assume. I may be completely wrong. All just outside the centre circle. And again, good work by Zubamendi to win the ball back. And here come Arsenal. What a turn from Eze. Eze stretching forward. They're really short here. Leverkusen. Can Arsenal get a third? Saka to the right. Still Eze. Still Eze. Cuts it onto his left foot. Gets the shot in. Brilliant block when it seemed certain he was going to score. And Leverkusen bring it away. Just wonder if he's a little bit selfish there, Eze. He does put the arm up. And he does apologise to Bukayo Saka, because Saka was free to his right-hand side and he could have released it, but instead of doing that, he chopped it onto his left foot. He's gone down now flat on his back. I don't know if he's just absolutely cream-crackered from that run. He did pick the ball up well inside his half, drives down the centre. Saka's making a run to the right-hand side. Should he release it to Saka? He chops it onto his left foot, gets the shot. It's a really good block, actually. It's I think it was Kwanzaa who got the block, and he's probably been Leverkusen's best player, actually. So here are the changes midway through the second half. Zubamendi is the first to go. Norgard replaces him. And Martinelli, Ben White is done as well. So Ben White will be replaced by the Spaniard, Christian Mosquera. And he's becoming a bit of a fan favourite here at Arsenal. He really is. So Mosquera comes in, and the third change is, as I expected, Martinelli for Trossard. I think that's precautionary, I would say. I think that's precautionary. And he goes off. And 3 changes for Arsenal. It's worth mentioning as well that Pierre Hincapié, of course, and people forget this, and I've almost forgotten it, is that Pierre Hincapié is actually a Bayer Leverkusen player. He's on loan to Arsenal. He's going to be... Oh, Arsenal going to make another change here. Well, this is interesting. I don't think this is a quick change, because Eze went down after that run. I don't know if he felt something, Eberechi Eze, but again, absolutely no chances being taken by Mikel Arteta. Obviously one eye, I guess, now on that cup final at the weekend. He's taken Eberechi Eze off and he's replaced it with Kai Havertz. Change for Leverkusen as well. Their their third, I should say. And they're bringing off Palacios. And I haven't yet seen which players come on, so just have to bear with me on that one. It all happened rather quickly because the Eberechi Eze Kai Havertz one caught me by surprise, because Arsenal had readied that triple change. That was ready to go. And then Eberechi Eze went on that run, and after he got his shot away, which was blocked, he then went down, tumbled down to the ground. And it's Patrick Schick who's come on. So Patrick Schick is Bayer Leverkusen's top scorer. Got 13 goals to his name this season. Arsenal have won the ball back. More sloppy play by Leverkusen. Left-hand side of the penalty area with Gyökeres. Not a bad game tonight, actually, Gyökeres. Needs some support. Twisting, turning down towards the byline. Gets the cross in towards the far post. There's the header from Eze. Is it bundled in? It is! But the referees... Is it an offside? Sorry, it might be a handball. Havertz has bundled it in. But the whistle has gone. Has it been given? Well, the cross comes in. Saka heads it across the 6-yard area. And the goalkeeper... I'm not even sure it comes off. Does it come off the goalkeeper? It's such a mess. It's going to be looked at by VAR. I think it's going to be disallowed. I think it comes off of Havertz's arm. I may be wrong. It's a real mess of a goal. The goalkeeper makes a big mistake, but I think he's got away with it because his deflection off of his arm has hit Kai Havertz. And indeed... Well, VAR are just checking. I'm just going to confirm. I'm not going to confirm it yet because VAR are checking it. But from what I could see, It has been disallowed indeed, and it's the right decision as well. Really good cross from the byline by Gyökeres towards the far post. Bukayo Saka heads it across the 6-yard area. It hits the goalkeeper, and who I'm not entirely sure what the goalkeeper's doing, but he sort of flaps at it. It hits Havertz, but it definitely hits him on the arm and bundles into the net, but it's ruled out, rightly so, and it remains 2-0 here at the Emirates. Would have been the icing on the cake for Arsenal, though they've got plenty of time to do that. Still 18 minutes left for play, and Arsenal's season, well, they've won absolutely nothing so far. That's the thing you've got to remember. This could be, well, it not only could be the greatest season in Arsenal's history, it could be the greatest season anybody's ever seen, couldn't it? Because if they were doing the quadruple, which has never been done and always thought that it was impossible to do, well, they're 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League. They're heading into the quarter-finals of the Champions League. They've got a cup final on Saturday in the League Cup. They've got a quarter-final of the FA Cup against Southampton. I mean, how long can they keep this quadruple dream alive? I think the Arsenal fans would settle for the Premier League. I think that's the one they want the most. This one certainly is second on that list, isn't it? But they certainly wouldn't sniff at a League Cup on Sunday against title rivals Manchester City. Leverkusen have got themselves a corner down this near side. The Leverkusen left in front of the clock end here, and it'll be taken by Alex Grimaldo, the ex-Benfica man, 30 years of age now, left-footed in swinging. And now if Leverkusen were to get a goal, it would make it interesting. It certainly would. Left-footed delivery. Oh, it's a poor delivery. Headed clear at the near post. Got to beat your first man. The first man was Gyökeres. Didn't beat him. And Arsenal get it clear. They'll come again, though, down this near side. Back with Grimaldo again. Low ball towards the edge of the penalty area. It's not a bad one. Continues his run. This is promising. Down towards the byline he goes. Brilliantly timed challenge from Rice. And he clears the ball down towards the near side. They'll win another corner, though, because Nkapie couldn't smuggle it clear. And it's come off of the man who I mentioned is on loan. Years ago, he wouldn't have been able to play tonight, but those rules have changed. He is almost certain, I think 99.9% sure to become an Arsenal player in the summer, similar to what happened with David Raya, of course, when he went on loan for a season from Brentford. Corner from the near side again then for the visitors. Not a bad delivery, and it's headed over by Gabriel for another one by the looks of things. Well, they're racking up these corners now by Leverkusen. It's a good delivery again from this near side by Grimaldo. It's Saliba, actually. I'll tell a lie. Saliba with the clear. I'm not entirely sure what Saliba was doing there with that clearance. It came off his knee. It could have gone anywhere. And he did look slightly relieved. In comes the latest corner towards the far post, headed clear by Saliba again. And Saka can bring it clear over on the far side. They might have a break on here, Arsenal, if they play this right. On it goes to Gyökeres. Now then, what's he got in front of him? Havertz is going forward. Out towards the far side, still Gyökeres. Out towards the far side. There's the... Bukayo Saka again. He was in too much. It was Mosquera on this occasion bursting forward. Didn't know whether to shoot off or go for goal. And in the end, he just played it harmlessly to the goalkeeper. Real chance for Arsenal on the break there. I think Gyökeres did the right thing by releasing it to Mosquera, but it's probably not the man you want it released to. But my goodness, the Spaniard made a burst forward. Long ball forward now for Leverkusen. Is going to go all the way through to David Raya. Good to see from Raya as well, releasing that ball quickly to Rice. I mean, Arsenal are 2 up. They don't need to rush. They've been criticised so many times this season when they've been ahead for wasting time and using the dark arts, as they call it, but they don't seem to be doing that tonight. They're keen to get on with proceedings, maybe searching for a third just to put the nail in the coffin. Rice over the halfway line. Out towards Nkapie. Nkapie left-hand side of the penalty area. Down towards the byline, just holds the ball up, needs some support, finds it in the form of Declan Rice, who's absolutely everywhere as always. Infield to Norgard. Good to see Norgard on the field. Hasn't had a huge amount of opportunities this season for Arsenal, has he, since his move from Brentford. And Nkapie again, down the line to Rice. And Rice goes square to his right-hand side. Sprinted out to William Saliba. Mosquera to his right-hand side. So Mosquera is now playing down that right-hand side for Arsenal after the substitution of Ben White. Saka ahead of him. Gyökeres. Lovely 1-2 between himself and Havertz, and then out towards the far side. But the ball was sort of between Mosquera and Saka. And in the end, it finds neither of them. So it's gone out of play, and it'll be a throw-in to Bayer Leverkusen midway inside their own half. Down their left-hand side. Still Man City 1, Real Madrid 1, Chelsea 0, PSG 3. And 4 more ties to come tomorrow night. The opportunity for a break down this right-hand side now for Bayer Leverkusen. It's the substitute Carl Braith, right side of the penalty area. I thought he should have got the ball in quicker there. He's allowed Arsenal to get back in numbers, and that's exactly what they've done. It's come back out to the Argentinian down this near side. Again, he didn't really fancy taking on Nkapie. He goes back to Kwanzaa. I think Kwanzaa's had a really good game, actually, for Leverkusen tonight. Back to Carl Braith. There's the header. It's a decent effort, but it's well wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand post, and it's behind for a goal kick. The early kick-off tomorrow is the Barcelona-Newcastle one, so that kicks off at the Nou Camp at 6:45 local time, 5:45 GMT. Then you've got Spurs, Atletico Madrid, Bayern, Atalanta, Liverpool, Galatasaray. I guess the interest really lies with the game at Anfield, doesn't it? Because it feels like those other 2 ties, they're well and truly over, aren't they? Spurs v Atletico and Bayern. Atalanta, long ball forward, well held up by Gyökeres, finds Martinelli. Martinelli out to Saka. He could do with a goal, Bukayo Saka. Now, is this his moment? Bukayo Saka, shot in, pushed clear by the goalkeeper behind for a corner. Right-footed, trying to beat the keeper at the near post. Saka drilled it hard, but Blažević, he's done well tonight. He's been beaten twice, but he's been beaten by 2 stunning finishes by Eberechi Eze and Declan Rice. I don't think he's put a foot wrong, the goalkeeper, to be quite honest with you. And Arsenal have their, well, I make it their 9th corner of the evening. From the far side, Bukayo Saka will take it, left-footed in swinging. The man wearing the captain's armband, of course, in the absence still of Martin Odegaard, who apparently is a contender for the Cup final on Sunday, so I'm being told. He may well be available. He's certainly on the cusp of being ready to return from injury, hopefully for Arsenal for the run-in. Saka then, left-footed, curling in, nice delivery, headed clear though, edge of the penalty area. Got to clear their lines here, Leverkusen, they've got to be careful. And in the end, Kwanzaa just goes long. They were dilly-dallying it with on the edge of the penalty area. It needed somebody to just put their foot through it, and that's exactly what happened. And the ball goes long out towards the far side for Cavani, who's been so quiet. He had such a good first leg. Leverkusen have lost it again. Rice now. Gyökeres is making the run. Tries to slip it through to the Swede, but it's cut out. It's the first bad thing Declan Rice has done tonight, to be fair. That wasn't a particularly good ball by the England international. And here comes Garcia out towards the right side of the penalty area. Carl Braith tries to get the cross and hits Nkapie, and Nkapie gets a further header clear. Comes back to Carl Braith though. Out towards his near side. There's the cross. That's a nice ball in, and that's headed clear by Gabriel out towards the far side. It will be a Leverkusen throw-in. Level with the edge of the penalty area down the Leverkusen left. That was a lovely ball in actually from Garcia. But Gabriel doing what he gets paid to do. Heads it clear out towards the far side. Throw into Leverkusen. We're about to enter the last 10. And since Arsenal scored that second goal, Leverkusen have had 70% possession. I guess that's no surprise, is it? Arsenal are just soaking this up. A couple of times they've hit them on the break. They haven't managed to get that third goal. Cross comes in from the left-hand side this time. And Nkapie will head that one clear for Arsenal. And Martinelli is battling with it down this near side now, and he'll go down. That'll be a free kick. Just draws the foul. Good work by him. Draws the foul from Carl Braith, and it'll be a free kick to Arsenal in their left-back position. 10 minutes left for play. And Arsenal, who re-entered the Champions League, of course, a couple of seasons ago after a few years of absence. They had all those years, those consecutive years, about 20 years under Arsene Wenger, and then things started to go wrong, didn't they? Wenger left, Unai Emery came in came Mikel Arteta after Emery didn't work out. He only managed about 18 months at the Emirates. And Mikel Arteta, it took a few seasons, didn't it? But he got them back into the Champions League. Their first year back, they made the quarter-finals where they lost narrowly to Bayern Munich. Last year it was the semi-finals where they lost to eventual winners PSG. Gyökeres now inside the penalty area. Can he snug it through to Saka? No, he can't. Leverkusen get it clear, long towards the halfway line. Made out towards the far side. Here's Garcia. Garcia scoops it out towards his near side. Carl Braith, who's done well since he's come on, actually down this right-hand side for Leverkusen. This is where he needs to get his ball into the box, but yet again he just holds it up right-hand side of the penalty area. Gets it back down this near side, then goes down the line towards Garcia. Garcia steadies himself. He's going to get the ball in this time. And well, I say he gets the ball and it hits Declan Rice and clears out towards his near side. The Spaniard, the ex-Girona man, will retrieve it though. Goes back out to Carl Braith down this near side. All infield to Jarrell Kwanzaa. Can he go down towards the byline? He's just held up by multiple Arsenal players, to be fair. Eventually comes back towards the edge of the penalty area. Recycle back out to Garcia. Garcia's got Galbraith ahead of him down the line, finds him, a little bit of space, he'll get the cross in this time, right-footed, in it comes, and there's David Raya to catch inside his 6-yard area. Now, will Raya go long? That's exactly what he'll do, down the centre towards Havertz, but the keeper's well off his line, and lovely stuff as well from the keeper, just scoops it over Kai Havertz, who's outside his penalty area, so he couldn't pick it up, but he just sort of scooped it over the German, and then passed it forward towards the halfway line. Here's Garcia again on the halfway line, just to the right of the centre circle for Bayer Leverkusen. Looks like it's going to be back to the league for them and trying to qualify for the Champions League. It looks like the Premier League will get a 5th Champions League spot. Remains to be seen whether the Bundesliga also does, because Leverkusen might need that. Cross comes in again from Garcia. Again, Arsenal have dealt with it well. The scare out towards the far side. Throw into Leverkusen. Level at the edge of the penalty area down the left-hand side. 8 minutes now left on the clock, and Leverkusen are going to make another change before this throw-in is taken, and they're going to bring on the number 6, the Argentinian Fernandez, who's going to replace Robert Antrich. So the captain's armband is given to Granaldo, the Spaniard, and Andrich's evening is over. The captain, who I think was probably man of the match in the first leg, but he had a really good game, got a goal as well to his name, that goal from the set piece, the header at the far post. Leverkusen take the throw in, and then sliding in is Christian Mosquera, and it's moments like that you realise why he's become a crowd favourite, sliding in to get that ball out of play before the ball can come into the box, puts it out of play, throw in to Leverkusen. They've gone back towards the halfway line. It's Kwanzaa back out to the inside left position now for Leverkusen. Attempted cross comes in, and that's going to just deflect all the way through to David Raya. Raya going to deliver a quick one again. On it goes to Rice. Rice skips round one, out towards the far side, knocks it back to Saka. Saka goes back down the line to Mosquera, and Mosquera goes all the way back to David Raya. First time ball out of defence for Gabriel. Gabriel bringing this ball forward towards the halfway line, still looks full of running. Here's Christian Norgard, gets the ball back from the ex-Brentford man immediately, and Norgard could well play an important part in the latter stages of this Arsenal season, because he is fresh, isn't he? He's not played a lot of football this season. The ball is loose over on the far side, and Arsenal have come away with it. If they were Saka, no, he can't quite control it, and Leverkusen have it again in their left-back position. Just left for Tapsoba. Tapsoba, ball on his right foot, middle one knocked on nicely by the substitute, first touch by him, Fernandez. Over the halfway line it goes. Arsenal just being very, very disciplined at the moment, very organised, not doing anything silly. Just seeing down the clock, 2-0 to the good, 3-1 on aggregate. Here's Kwanzaa inside the centre circle. He's my Leverkusen man of the match, I'll say that. I was going to give the man of the match to Trossard. I thought he was superb, but Declan Rice maybe. Oh my goodness, less said about that shot the better. From Kafane, from about 30 yards out, right-footed, as close to the corner flag as it was the goal, and it's behind for a goal kick as we enter the last 5 of the 90. Arsenal 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. It's going to be Arsenal against Sporting Lisbon. I guess the story there is Victor Gyökeres, who had that incredible goal-scoring record when he was in the Portuguese capital, and he didn't leave on particularly good terms in the end, did he, in the summer when he forced through his move to North London. But he's going to be returning for that first leg. The second leg will be here. Arsenal, of course, because they finished top of the group phase, all of their second legs, as long as they continue in this tournament, all of their second legs will be here at the Emirates. Gyökeres, good work again, ball towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's well dealt with in the end and cleared long towards the halfway line. Norgard didn't quite know where the ball was. Rice then can't quite control it, and Galbraith brings it over the halfway line for Leverkusen. Goes out to Mazza down this near side. He's been very, very quiet. I can't remember mentioning his name in this second half. Mentioned him plenty in the first half. Almost forgot he was on the field, actually. Finds Garcia to his left, central inside the Arsenal half. Scoops it out towards the right-hand side of the penalty area to Galbraith. Down towards the byline. He's got to cut this ball back, is he? There comes the cross straight into the arms of David Raya. This time the latest cross from Fernandez. Arsenal have just dealt with everything Leverkusen have had to offer. They really have. And they've had 70-odd% possession. Raya bowls one out now towards the halfway line for Arsenal, towards Martinelli, just inside the centre circle. Arsenal go out towards Havertz over on the far side. There's the overlap. It's Mosquera bursting forward, tries to cut it back to Havertz again, but it only finds Alex Garcia. He's still getting forward, Christian Mosquera, even this late on. He doesn't need to, but he was busting a gut to get forward there to provide the overlap for Kai Havertz as he made his way down that right-hand side. Did well as well to get onto it. Now here come Leverkusen at the other end. Still time, I guess, for them to get back into it if they were to find a goal now. Edge of the penalty area. Here's Cal Brave, cuts it back. There's the shot. Oh, what a save by David Raya. I tell you what, he's not really had a save to make this evening, but he comes up with an absolutely incredible save. The cross came in, and there was Christian Cafane, who's done nothing tonight. He's been so quiet and flying towards his right-hand side. David Raya with a strong right arm. I think Cafane was already celebrating. It looked like it was in the back of the net. And as I said, when you're a goalkeeper that's had nothing to do tonight, he's not really had a save to make. What a save that was by Raya. He's made some incredible saves this season. He really has. I don't think anybody can doubt that maybe, I guess himself maybe, and Thibaut Courtois can make claim to be the best two goalkeepers in the world. Let's not forget, of course, he's not the Spanish number one, is he? That's what a save that was. And it remains 2-0, and it could have been a really awkward last few minutes for Arsenal if that had gone in. But brilliant save, and it remains 2-0 to Arsenal. Goal kick then for the Gunners. And looks like Arsenal are readying another change, are they? Possibly on the touchline. Unai Simon, by the way, is the man. Unai Simon, who is the goalkeeper for Athletic Bilbao. He is the current Spanish number one. Well, I tell you what, he's got to be some goalkeeper if he's better than David Raya. I haven't seen enough of Athletic Club to really make a claim for him. But from what I've seen from David Raya, they are going to make a change here, Arsenal, are they? Well, they're going to take the throw in first on the halfway line down the left. Down it goes to Gyökeres, holds the ball up nicely. Needs a little bit of support. Decides to do it on his own, and he wins the throw in. Level with the edge of the penalty area down the Arsenal left, and it'll be taken by Hincapié. We're just heading into the 90th minute. Are Arsenal going to make the change first, though? Havertz has actually come across as he take the throw. No, it's going to be Hincapié. And no change thus far for Arsenal. Hincapié with his throw, level with the edge of the penalty area down the Arsenal left. Down towards the byline. Havertz gets something on it, but can't direct it back into the penalty area. And Leverkusen go long, but Rice cuts it out. And it'll be a throw-in now for Bayer Leverkusen down this near side, midway inside their own half. We're into the 90th minute here at the Emirates. We've seen two super goals. It's going to be Miles Lewis-Skelly. That's good to see as well. He's another one. I mentioned how little we've seen of Christian Norgard this season, the Dane. Well, we've seen very little of Miles Lewis-Skelly, who broke into the first team last season so dramatically. The youngster, not just the Arsenal team, the England team as well, of course, and he'll still stake a claim for a place in Thomas Tuchel's squad for the Americas in the summer for the World Cup. On he comes now. Admittedly, he's not going to get a lot of time here, but it's just good to see him on the field and getting a little bit of game time. And again, he might well be needed in this Arsenal run-in with all these trophies that they're going for. Long ball forward now for Leverkusen towards the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Brought down by Martinelli, and then back to the goalkeeper by Miles Lewis-Skelly. In fact, I think it's come off a Leverkusen player. Indeed it has, so Raya can pick the ball up. So we head into stoppage time. Goal in each half for Arsenal. Two absolutely brilliant finishes as well. Eberechiesi on the volley. Declan Rice with the low curler from the edge of the penalty area beyond the goalkeeper. Into 4 minutes of stoppage time. Long ball forward. Here's Martinelli, left-hand side of the penalty area. Can Arsenal get the icing on the cake with the Brazilian? Down towards the byline, gets the cross in. No, it's attempted cross. It's cut out by Colbraith, and it'll be Arsenal's 10th corner of the evening. And to be fair, props to Bayer Leverkusen, because up to this point they've defended the 9 previous Arsenal corners very, very well. They've got another one to defend yet, though. Declan Rice from this near side. The Arsenal left, so it'd be the usual right-footed in-swinger. It's finished, by the way, at Stamford Bridge. So it's finished Chelsea 0, PSG 3, and the reigning champions are through 8-2 on aggregate, where they will play the winners of the match tomorrow between Liverpool and Galatasaray, with Galatasaray leading by a goal to nil from the first leg. Corner then for Arsenal. Can they get this icing on the cake here at the North Bank? Rice, who got the second for Arsenal this evening. In it comes. There's a lot on it towards the far post. There's the header pushed clear by the goalkeeper. There's Saka right inside of the penalty area to retrieve it. And it goes to Gabriel, who's still forward. And Gabriel pokes it down the line to Saka. Does he keep the ball in play? Yes, he does. So Arsenal maintain possession. Here's Miles Lewis-Skelly. First touch for him. Off the bench, what can the youngster do? Just goes square to Gabriel on his right side. Back to Lewis-Skelly again. Goes back to the halfway line. There's Christian Mosquera right inside of the centre circle. Saliba. Arsenal just getting back in shape following that latest set piece. And again, fairly well dealt with actually by Leverkusen. Back to David Raya. Goes long. Header on by Havertz. Nobody there in a red shirt ahead of him though. And Leverkusen can bring it clear through Kwanzaa. We've played 2 minutes of stoppage time. 2 on, 2 to play. Arsenal 2 goals to the good. Long ball forward, headed clear by Mosquera. Now Norgard, Rice. Oh, this is nice. Rice down the right-hand side. Havertz will chase it. Havertz over on the far side. Just can't quite hold the ball up, Havertz. And in the end, it allows the challenge to come in, and Tabsoba does well. Goes back towards the edge of his own penalty area. They're a beaten team now, Leverkusen. They've played well over the 2 legs. They were certainly the better team, in my view, in the first leg. Slightly unlucky, I think, not to come into this one with a goal to the good. But they've been outplayed today. They've played well. Well, they've had a lot of possession since Arsenal scored the second goal, but that's just because Arsenal have stepped off in the latter stages. They are going to get another corner, though. This will be their 8th. We've had 18 corners tonight. 10 for Arsenal, 8 for Leverkusen as we head into the last minute of stoppage time. And a goal now will almost certainly just be a consolation for the Germans. They go short with the corner. Across the edge of the 18-yard line. That's a really poor ball. Martinelli wins it back, and Arsenal could have a break on if they play this right, but they don't because Nkapie can't control it. Drilled out towards the far side. A lot of pace on that ball. Just about kept in play, though. Down the line it goes. Across comes Havertz now to try and prevent the cross. The cross does come in, but it's dealt with by Saliba, and then Martinelli volleys it clear out towards the far side and clears for Arsenal as the seats continue to empty here at the Emirates, with the fans fresh in the knowledge, knowing that their quadruple bid is still safely on the table for Arsenal as they head into that cup final at the weekend against Manchester City. Here's the substitute, Fernandes, advancing towards the edge of the penalty area. Just opened up for a little bit there, the Argentinian. Thought he might have had a shot on goal. Goes out towards the right side of the penalty area. That's got too much on it, and I think that will be that. Arsenal are heading through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League for the 3rd year running. They were stopped in their tracks 2 years ago in the quarterfinals by Bayern Munich. Last year they were stopped in their tracks by the eventual winners PSG in the semi-finals. Can they go better this season? And there goes the final whistle. The referee just takes the ball off David Raya and says no need to take that goal kick. It's all over, and Arsenal's quadruple bid is still firmly on. They've beaten Bayer Leverkusen by 2 goals to 0 tonight after the 1-1 in the first leg. 2 brilliant goals as well. Eberechi Eze in the first half, Declan Rice in the second, and Arsenal safely make their way through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where they'll play Sporting Lisbon. It's finished here tonight at the Emirates. Arsenal 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. Thanks very much for listening, and do enjoy the rest of your evening.